Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long boys blues, 1975. Using girls on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long boys blues, 1975.
Hey YouTube, Longboys Post 1975. Welcome to part 2 of my look at the Retrocade, or as I like to call it, because that's clearly what it's ripping off in the first video I did. I'll put a link to it in the doohickey down below if you haven't seen it. I'd say check it out, but that's entirely up to you. A Chinese mini knockoff Neo Geo Color. Now, this is kind of an update video because there's a couple of things I want to say, a couple of things I found that are really interesting, but I don't know how to, or if I even can exploit them. I downloaded some ROMs, some Neo Geo ROMs. I was wondering if it could, you know, run them. Steve Benway said it could. He's got some very similar handhelds that run on the same system. Apparently will have the same operating system. Now I don't doubt him for a second, it's just I couldn't get them to work, but that's more likely me. I made a copy of the file structure on a mini SD card, because once I stuck it in the machine and turned it on, it didn't seem to do that automatically, and then I dumped the ROMs in there. But yeah, they didn't work, but I have seen on videos where people have done it, and there is a firmware update coming out, so that might have something to do with it. But because you can see the screen slightly better now, you have all these icons at the, well, then in my original video at the top was basically a mixture of all the games from the systems on it. So you've got, you know, I think that's arcade, Battle City, don't know, Gunstar Heroes, Mega Drive, that's Game Boy Advance, Mega Mac, Rockman X. I'm pretty sure that's Super Nintendo. But here's, now, as you can see, it's running on composite on my telly. There is obviously no HDMI out, which is to be expected on a machine this cheap, and it's pretty crap image. I'm not going to lie, it's really crap. The machine itself has a really, really nice, tight, sharp screen. For the price. I've seen reviews where some people slate it. I actually really like it. But then, having said that, and I'm not going to go into it too much, there are a ton of options for playing around with the screen and the backlight on it. But yeah, I really like the screen. But anyway, so you've got your settings here, because once you go into it, what's in here? Forgotten. Oh, previous directory, game, music, picture, save. Save, that's your save files. Go music and picture, that stuff that's preloaded on here. We won't worry about that for the purposes of copyright, because it's bands and stuff like that. But go into settings. You see, it's weird to say that the buttons on the mini pads, right, they're in a different sequence, because they're all coloured, but they're in a different sequence than they are on the actual unit itself. So backwards becomes forwards and forwards becomes backwards. It's quite disconcerting. Language settings, I've managed to turn it back into English. Background settings, sound settings, backlight time, backlight settings, that's brightness, system info, TV out mode. This is important because you have to go in here, and we're on power. I wonder if I set it to NTSC. Did that work? Nope, because I'm not actually on an NTSC telly, am I? Well, no, it doesn't matter, does it, if we're digital? Oh, I don't know. Right, so let's go back. It seems to have got a hell of a lot darker. In fact, the picture seems to have got a lot sharper, but darker. NTSC compared to PAL. I don't know what that is. Winning 11, that'd be... Right, well, let's just have a quick look at one of these games then and see what the difference is. We'll go with Captain Commando. That button. Obviously this is running on the CPS hardware, which would be Capcom, because it runs CPS 1 and CPS 2, and this would be the folder apparently that can run Neo Geo games. This game is used in all countries including the United States of America, Canada, Mexico and so who's it made for then? Europe? Europe. Points for the quote. Sound quality's dropped on that, right? Appears that running on NTSC gives it a slightly better picture quality than it does on PAL. I don't know why. Modern TVs are essentially both, aren't they? Yeah, the brightness or the colours are a bit. But oh, graphically, I don't think it's dropping any frames. The music sounds alright. The Mega Drive will be the interesting one to see what it runs properly, because of, you know, the sound chip wasn't made by Sega. Look, I can smash windows and shit. I'm a proper angsty fucking teen. He was a mascot, was he, for Capcom for a while? Right, anyway, let's quit. Select and start is quit. You can save in here, you see, right? So we'll go to quit to the end. See what I did there? Right, anyway, stuff I want to show you really quickly. Like, so that would be the picture viewer, that would be the music viewer. This is a selection of games. Go in. Now you got this, simulation games. So that's all your games on the actual system. You know, the formats it does. It does arcade, Game Boy, that would be, you know, Capcom. Game Boy Advance, Super Famicom, Mega Drive, Famicom, Game Boy Color, Game Boy. I can tell you now that it does not emulate Game Boy well. TF would be... Yeah, can't get into it, but well, mind you, I haven't got an SD card inserted into it, but that would be where I stick the extra games, which I have tried sticking on it, but I could not get it to recognise. But like I said, that is more than likely me and not the system. Maybe I should actually read the instructions, because I haven't read them because they're so friggin' small. But what's this? Transplant games. Nope, hang on. Now look, it's still in foreign language, but go into the top one, go into this. Base materials, I don't know what this is. Open, right. Are you doing something? Right, so something called OpenGS. I don't even know what this is, but start or skip. And it doesn't seem to want to let me do anything. But pick your system left and right. There we go. There we go. I think it's like it's Guyana Sisters. So what? Start. There you go. So is this like, I don't know, am I running? Because this was not listed in the games and systems it said. It would appear that I have to play this on the actual joystick. Yeah, look, it's the Great Guyana Sisters, which is a Commodore 64 game that was recalled. But, yeah, I didn't know that it could do Commodore games. Did you? Sound's gone incredibly quiet. Yeah, so basically you got the Great Guyana Sisters on there, which is a Commodore game. Right, now, we're going to have to quit to get out of that, I believe. Yeah, I did quit. There we go. Right, so yeah, that's that. But let's go to materials. Nothing in there. Oh, hang on. Transplant games. Base. Let's have a look at base. So look, you got this. You got Amiga, Amstrad, CPC, Atari, Audio, Commodore 64, and default. I didn't know this. Does this mean it can emulate Amiga, Amstrad, CPC, Atari, Audio? I mean, I'm asking you. Do you know this? Because if that's true, there's no games in there. If that's true, that makes it an absolutely friggin' amazing emulator. See if there's anything in the other ones. Amstrad, please work. See, now I have to work out how to get this working, because if I can get that working and I can put stuff on it, then hopefully I can do that. Right, so what we got in here? Let's go back off that a minute. Transplant games. What's at the bottom? What's in the box? What's in the box? Nothing, apparently. It's not working. Okie dokie. Right, well, I'm going to have to reset the system on this, but like I said, that's really interesting. Does that mean there are other systems that this will emulate, such as the Commodore and the Amstrad? Maybe I'm being a complete fool. If you do know, please, I would love you to tell me. Anyway, I'm going to reset and let's try some more games. Right, so we're back and running, and we're running in NTSC, so we'll come out of there. It's really weird that it flips the stuff like that. I should probably do the brightness on my telly, but I can't be asked. But right, so you got your options up here, but we're not going to go through them. I mean, I own quite a lot of Chinese knockoff machines that always seem to like to go that route. I guess you could call it, I don't know, a favourites or a quick, easy blast. It'd be cool if you could set that up, but that would be obviously asking a little too much. So we'll go into the main thing. Right, let's have a look at arcade, because I want to try Street Fighter. Now I'm wondering if the buttons are reversed on this. There we go, look at that. It means compared to the extra unit, it means that doing Street Fighter moves is going to have them flip. Right, let's go with new challenges. Right, so obviously it's going to boot up because it's running an arcade ROM, which is kind of cool. Now, I've seen lots of people slate this online, but I say, as I do with all these things, is take it with a pinch of salt and remember it for what it is. It's not going to perform like a Neo Geo, you know, Mini. It's not supposed to. It's some Chinese company ripping it off. The fact that it comes preloaded with ROMs is uber illegal, but the Chinese, they really don't care. Just look up the Chinese knockoff of BMW X5, where BMW tried to sue them and the Chinese government overrid it and threw it out and just said it looks nothing like it. It looks exactly the same. Right. Okay, this is my favourite version of Street Fighter. Although, to be fair, my favourite version of it is actually on the 3DO. Now, this will be interesting to see if it runs full screen, because if you saw my last video, then you probably wouldn't really be able to tell because it was running on such a small screen. And I'd be the first to admit that it didn't look too great, but come on. Now, the pad is tiny, right, and kick is on top, which is awkward. I don't think the music sounds quite right, but it doesn't sound like a game changer. I just want to try flying kick, hurricane. Oh, see, yeah, I don't know if it's screen dropping it or, but yeah, I think it probably is. It looks a lot better on the small screen. But it doesn't look terrible. No, really, I'm quite impressed with that. It really doesn't look that bad. Again, it's running down composite, so, you know, what do you expect it to look like? Put it this way, compared to some of the systems I tried to play this on, knockoff ones I got, this, it's mixed all the buttons up to all kinds of weird. Yeah, compared to some of the systems I've tried to play this on, that have similar specs, this is more, it's playable, basically. It's playable. Right, we're going to skip this and try something else. Skip to the end. I would say points for that, but everyone knows what that's from, don't they? No, that's the wrong one. Yeah, it's weird. It's really, the buttons compared to, all the buttons appear to be differently mapped on the pad, again, which is tiny, than they are on the actual, oh, Street Fighter Alpha 2, we'll try that. Street Fighter Alpha 3, yeah, then they are Super Gem Fighter on the actual machine. Right, Street Fighter Alpha 3. I'm really interested to see if it can run this. Street Fighter Alpha 2 is probably my favourite, and I think my favourite version of it's actually on... Thanks for that, mate. It's on the Saturn. Yeah, it's quite dark. But that can be adjusted, obviously. Right, put some money in. To be fair, composite or not, it's not terrible. I mean... Right. How does his eyebrows go above his... Oh, what's that? It doesn't like the transparency effect, does it? On the thingy, the effects on the screen. Wonder why that is. Okay. Oh, I need to know what the buttons are mapped to. Oh, this is awkward. It doesn't like this, does it? Yeah, this is hurting my brain and making me feel sick. That's funny, it didn't seem that much faster than, you know, the new Challengers. Ow! Surely it's illegal for me to, you know, beat her up. She's a kid. It's a game, Dave. Never mind. Right. Yeah, doesn't like that, does it? And it doesn't like the effects. Right, so we'll skip that. I might try 2 quickly, just see if it is that, which I doubt. But yeah, see, like I said, this is why I'm doing this kind of update. It's things like this that you got to, you know, I guess, depending upon the person and what you want from these things. I like it for the novelty and to play it as a tabletop unit, but it's things like this you got to expect from these, you know. They're not made by, you know, quality, renowned, you know, producers. Winners don't use drugs. That's not entirely true. Look at the Tour de France. Oh, it doesn't like that, does it? Right, well, we'll skip that. Let's try a more traditional game. Okay, back, skip to the end. Right, what else is there in here? We'll go backwards up to tell you how many games there are. Super Street Fighter 2, 1944 Strider, Capcom Sports Club, Capcom World, King of Dragon, Magic Sword. King of Dragon, that would be a Dungeons and Dragons game, wouldn't it? Nightmare in the Dark, Bang Bear Captain, Tomaday, Gigawing. That's a shoot up, isn't it? Shoot 'em up? I'm pretty sure there's an arcade game called Gigawing before there was Super Gigawing. You know those wings that are like super? Oh. Oh. That's what it is. It doesn't like... Now I'm wondering this is on the TV because... I don't recall it doing it on the units. That'll be something to do with my third update, I guess. Alright. When I get SD cards working on there. Yeah, that's awkward. But the actual game itself looks fine. Oh, I can just hold fire down. No, I can't. And it seems to be running fine. And that's stuff I gotta collect, is it? Right, well, there you go. I don't think the brightness settings are helping it. Okay, quit to the end. Right, let's check some other systems. Backwards. In. Simulation. Why is it called Simulation? Game Boy Advance. Super Famicom. Let's try Super Famicom. Mega Man X, Rockman, Donkey Kong, Kirby's, Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasy, Street Fighter Alpha 5. Obviously that's a hack. Champion Edition. Street Fighter 5. Right, I do like hack ROMs, I'm not gonna lie. Street Fighter 5. There you go. The World Warrior. Version Exclusiva. So it's just basically the first Street Fighter, isn't it? Again, the brightness is to do with me. Yeah, it's the original Street Fighter. Oh! Oh, he hasn't got teleport in this one. What was that? Broken! Right, well, let's try a proper game, you know, not a hack or whatever. Street Fighter Alpha 2, that's not a hack. It's a bloody, alright, it's got loading times, it's a cartridge game, but it's a bloody impressive Super Nintendo, or SNES game, I should say. Because I'm English and I like saying SNES. Alright. Final Fight 2. I'm confused. Oh well. I'm not really sure what happened there, but let's see if it works. Music's not terrible, I mean... I don't know, is it right? It seems to be a bit... Like I said, if you play the actual unit itself, it, it's a lot, you know, on the screen, it's a lot more impressive. It doesn't seem to suffer from half these problems, which is weird. I don't know, does it have to do something when it exports it? Right. Let's go with something else. Right, we'll have a look at another... I'm trying to pick something I know, so I can kind of tell... Ooh, Warlock. Universal Soldier, that's Turrican, isn't it? Ultimate Fighter, Ultimate Turn and Burn, Time Cop. The Untouchables, Incredible Capcom, that's great. Battle Guide. Come on, give me something that I know exactly how it runs. Revolution X. Oh dear God. Pit Fighter. No, because that's a Shizen on this, isn't it? Lethal Weapon. Lethal Enforcers. Jim Lee's Wildcats. Because I like Wildcats, even though he kind of washes his hand of it now, doesn't he? Anyway, he's DC's bitch, isn't he now? What, you in black and white? I think you're in black and white. No, you're not. Yay! Basically, when he left Marvel and he formed Image, everyone who left Marvel, him, Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson, Jim Valentino, and Sam Keith, they all just basically made character knockoffs of what they drew for Marvel. It was a bit crap, really. Although I love Spawn. Spawn wasn't. Now I know you emulate this on my Wii, the sound is horrible, although having said that, the picture is horrible in this. See, basically you got Cyclops character, you got a Jean Grey character. Ooh, that looks choppy as fuck, doesn't it? Choppy, choppy, chop, chop. It is really dark. I should probably have played around with that. Music's alright, that never seems to emulate properly. I just... Apparently I've got the combat, I'm a robot. I'm Spartan. Right, I'm not liking how dark it is. Right, let's have a quick look. Like I said, this is just a quick flip through some of the games because you obviously didn't see that. But, I mean, if you check my previous video, you might be able to kind of see. Oh, it's crashed. No, it hasn't. Might be able to kind of see how it looks better on the screen. Right, we'll come back out of this. We will try a Mega Drive game. Oi, what are you doing? You need to ask me before you do shit like that. No, fuck it. Sorry, that's me. I'm having a brain fart because the buttons are mapped awkwardly and this pad's not the greatest thing in the world. Right, so backwards would be that. Yay! Oh, let's quickly try Punisher, which is obviously CPS. There we go. Punisher. See, my favourite superheroes are Daredevil, Spider-Man, Punisher. What can I say? I like the classics. Oh, that sounds a bit funny, doesn't it? He's got roids. See, when you wear spandex, it really rides up in your crotch. And since he's an old angry man, Frank Castle, it doesn't help his roids. Oh, that's my super move. Oh, this seems to be working alright. It runs a lot better than that knockoff Xbox I had. Right, sweet. Okay, well, we've already done this system, and we kind of know that it does work depending upon the game. So, right, quit to the end. Now, I said quit, you fucker. I can't get my... Why can't I get my head around how the games and maps? Right, in there. Simulation games, arcade, Mega Drive. I'm not really interested in Game Boy Color and stuff like that, to be fair. Buster Douglas, Yogi Bear, Toxic Crusaders, Thunder Fox, Thomas the Tank Engine was on this, Star Cruiser, Revolution X, Pengu Clax, Heavy Unit. Which one was Heavy Unit? Budokan. Let's see if there's a Street Fighter game on here. Oh, Williams Arcade Greatest Hits. Universal Soldier, that's Turrican. Undead Line, Twin Hawk. Oh, Deep Space Nine. Doesn't appear to be a Street Fighter one. I'm sure there was. Oh, Hard Driving. Me like Hard Driving. It's a really good port on the Mega Drive as well. Shame it's so freaking dark. Right, so it can handle Super Nintendo or SNES music. Not really Mega Drive music. No. Not sure what that's about. Oh, it doesn't like that, does it? What's start engine? Oh look, it can't emulate hard driving on the Mega Drive. That's a bit poor, isn't it? Yo, that looks horrible. Let's have a look at one more thing. Right, where am I? Hard driving, growl. Ah, growl. Fighty. I mean, like I said, it's what you want from a system like this. It cannot do Mega Drive's music. But then that kind of makes sense, because very few things can they? Oh, but not as bad as that. That makes Mega Drive sound like it's fucking Elvis Presley. Hello, this is... The colours aren't helping either. Nor is it the fact that it's on composite. Mind you, we played composite back in the day. Oh. That looks horrible. We're just going to look at Sonic and then I'm going to call it quits. Right. Would I buy it? Well, I didn't. I got sent it, so that kind of gives you a whole new perspective on these things, doesn't it? Oh, you fucker. Quit. Back. Sonic. Oh, God. That's me. That's not this. Right, back. Oh. I'm a fool. Right. Now. Back. There we go. There's Sonic. Rayman 3. No, let's try Gunstar Heroes. So yeah, it depends on what you want. I would buy it as a novelty to use running off the little screen. I would not buy it to use on my TV, that's for sure. But then most of these sort of ones that export out to your TV are shit, aren't they? Oh, listen to that. Oh dear. Let's see if it can at least run it. I don't know. I really don't know if it can run it. Right, well there you go. I'm going to call it quits there. I told you I'd do a little bit of an update, and I'm going to do another update when I can work out how to put ROMs on it. But it would appear that basically the Capcom stuff works pretty decently, much better on the actual unit, and everything else is kind of halfway there. Anyway, there will be one final update, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.